Hello everyone, and welcome to yet another edition of the UK&I Monday Night Skippies. This time from Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. We'll have to be a little bit quick here as the drivers are gridding themselves up. I'm Connery Maddock. Joining me in the box will be the one, the only Linus Broström. And, well, we have to go very quickly through your grid right now. Simon Edwards, pole position, but Bill Fraser lines himself up on the front row, your current championship leader by quite a margin. We'll come on to that later. Mark Mercer and Jack Hobbs will round out row number 2. Mick Watson, Clark Williams, row number 3. Anthony Catt, Chris Malcolm, Tom Ward, Fahim Adenides will round out your top 10. Then looking at things down the field is Ben Daniels, Stuart Adcock, James McRitchie, Robert Plumley, Nicholas Vaughan Roberts, Dave Kirkman, Matt Cox, Jonathan Sheen and Ryan Hewitt, and of course the one, the only Paul Thurston there in P number 20 on the grid. And we've got the likes of Sigley and Bidewell, but the thing is we're going to go green flag racing immediately here. Everyone is on the grid, and a very good start for your pole position sitter of Simon Edwards. Tries to cover off the move from Bill Fraser on towards the short run down towards this first section here, and Edwards will retain the race lead as they go single file for the first couple of cars. Chris Malcolm has to push wide coming through turn number 1, goes side by side with Tom Ward, now side by side with the other car of Anthony Catt there as they run too wide coming down towards what is going to be turn number 3 out there on circuit. Not really an overtaking opportunity, but Catt will hang it around the outside. Chris Malcolm will have to fall behind just for now as there's already a gap appearing between your first couple of 6 cars. There's actually Anthony Catt. What has gone wrong there? That is certainly very interesting. I don't think he hit any walls. It just was some sort of failure of some kind, Linus?
I'm not sure actually what happened. He just ended up being really slow there after the chicane, and other than that, it was a really clean start.
He skipped over the second.
He did get a slowdown, that's true.
He skipped over the second apex of the turn number 3, turn number 4 section, and well, the first lap slowdown penalties are particularly vicious here on the iRacing service, so he has to drop like a stone all the way down the field. But looking at the race lead right now is currently Simon Edwards leading Bill Fraser up towards this turn number 10 hairpin, and we can expect this to be the main overtaking opportunity on the brakes coming down into there. But the thing is, you've got a huge draft straight afterwards. They snake their way out of what is going to be turn number 11. Battling behind though between James McRitchie, Chris Malcolm, the 187 and the 83, but they get themselves sorted out relatively quickly. There's the 027 and the 147 as well close behind, as things have been a little bit calm, I should say.
Yeah, it's been a very clean start, and these first 6 cars have pulled a really big gap now down to 7th place. And we see a car going off in the chicane, but it looks like he's going to save that around 10th place. I'm not really sure who that was.
Oh, as we go 3 wide down the pit straight there, that's the 147 car. Robert Plumley going down the middle of 2 cars that have a slowdown penalty. Chris Malcolm and Ben Daniels incredibly slow coming out of the chicane there as the 2x2 they'll go for around about P number 11 out there on circuit between Jonathan Sheen, Robert Plumley, Dave Kirkman, Matt Cox, and the 4 cars that are going too wide right now. But the thing is, Vaughan Roberts decides that he wants a piece of action as well as the run down towards turn number 3, still side by side between Roberts and Cox. But the thing is, Cox just has to back out the move. We saw what going around the outside there can do to your race with Anthony Catt on the first lap, taking the slowdown penalty for skipping across the curb. But looking back at the front of things right now, it is still Simon Edwards, Bill Fraser, Mark Mercer, Jack Hobbs, Mick Watson, Clark Williams, all in this front pack of 6 cars. They have separated themselves out from the rest. And if Clark Williams is going to do what Clark Williams usually does, Linus, he's going to stay on the back of this train and then just pass on the final lap. Yeah,
that's what he does best, and just waiting for mistakes at the front and seeing the gap down to the next group. It's already up to over 3 seconds, so he's going to have a very calm race today if he can just hang on to this group as they go single file around the hairpin again. No real passing going on here. Maybe they all just want to pull a big gap to the next group. I don't really know.
Some battling for P number 10 though. James, it's going to be Robert Plumley versus Jonathan Sheen. This is coming out of the turn number 10 hairpin, but Plumley does have the overspeed. He will manage to clear, but the thing is, if Sheen is smart, he can just tuck in behind in the draft here as he's as well as Vaughan Roberts as well. Side by side, they will run down in towards the chicane. This could be a little bit sketchy. Good racecraft needed through here as Sheen and Plumley do go side by side through there. No contact there, but Plumley has lost a whole ton of momentum. It's going to be 3 wide as they come.
Went in the wall behind them in the chicane as well.
Yeah, but 3 wide on towards turn number 1. It is between Plumley, Vaughan Roberts and Kirkman. It becomes 2 wide now with Kirkman on the outside, but he's going to come across. Ooh, that is a rather aggressive shutting of the door there, Linus.
Yeah, that could have ended up pretty bad, but he knew he was cleared probably, and Vaughan Roberts did a good job running into the back of him as well, so aggressive move by Kirkman, but he gained the position, so...
Yeah, and well, here on the iRacing service, you do have an automated spotter that tells you if you're clear or not. He must have gotten the clear call and immediately just went hard left to try and shut the door on his opponent there. But things seem to be calmed down, and this pack is behind. Villeneuve is trying to make a move on Ryan Hewitt, and that in fact does make the move, and Hewitt's lost momentum now, so Cowan can decide to see if he wants to pass, as we actually have shown Paul Thurston's incident there. That is the UK&I club captain having more than a couple of issues there coming down towards the World Champions, but in terms of the live pictures now, and Peter Cowan still tracking onto the back of Hewitt here, and well, will the torpedo be torpedo? This is the question that we have to be asking down in towards turn number 10. Is he going to go for the move? No, he's just going to back out for now. A little bit too early to be thinking about aggressive moves down towards the inside, lap number 3 of a 12-lap event, but looking back at the front of the field, here comes the passer of the race lead. Bill Fraser deciding he doesn't want to be behind any longer. He will actually inherit the race lead on the brakes in towards the final chicane as well. Simon Edwards really didn't fight that. They're playing this strategically, Linus.
No, he knew it was a lost battle, and going side by side for that chicane is just going to cost even more time, so he just tucks in behind him, and here he makes a move going into turn 1. He's going to be around the outside, but it looks like he's going to back out early to keep him going single file, to keep on pulling away from the rest of the field, and they've almost got a 4-second gap now down to P number 7.
Yep, they have, and well, if you look at the championship points, Bill Fraser 46 points ahead of the next highest challenger. That is Mark Mercer currently in that P number 3 spot. So if he can get this sort of finish here, he is sitting very, very pretty. We can't guarantee it yet if he wins this race, whether he will take the championship title for the season or not. We have to work out how the drop weeks will work at the end of this season. So nothing is set in stone just yet, but Bill Fraser, he is definitely the man with the advantage right now.
It definitely is, and he's currently in the driving seat of this race as well, and Mark Mercer is sitting there in 3rd, just hoping that he'll be able to do something, or that Fraser will run into trouble so he can catch up a few points. But at this point of time, Bill Fraser is controlling his own fate.
Yeah, he is. He's just managing things from the front here, and really that's all he needs to do. As long as you finish ahead of your rival in Mark Mercer, then it's going to be a job well done for Fraser. But the thing is, we still have 8 laps to go, or at least next time we cross the line, you'll have 8 laps to go in this event. And Edwards is going to go for the pass this time. Will he just keep trading positions like this all the way until the dying laps? We'll just have to see. Fraser just sticks to himself towards the guy on the right-hand side of the track, forces Edwards to go a long way around. But the thing is, the overspeed is a little bit too much. They will indeed swap positions and tuck in behind. So this is probably going to happen for coming up into maybe up towards the last 2 laps that this will be happening. So it gives us a chance to look a little bit further down the field, in fact. And actually, Alan Patterson has headed his way down on towards the lane. This is your series admin, number 17 machine, having a couple of issues there. You can get the faster barriers actually spin in the final chicane for Fahim Adonaides, the number 8. And did he clip a curve a bit too hard? He went very, very deep in the brakes indeed, and he just lost it on entry.
Yeah, he's been struggling really much today. Actually started in P10 and then he's just dropped down the field, and now, as you can see from that incident, he's going to be falling back even more. Has lost his front wing as well, so not a very, very good day for Fahim Adonaides today, unfortunately.
Ooh, and Cowan having a couple of issues as well. The number 99. This is down in towards turn number 1, turn number 2 section. They're heading side by side with Ryan Hewitt here, and let's just have a look, at least on my screen, what happens. And yeah, there's no space for Cowan to turn in like that. And the man inside of the corner there, so maybe we should get a replay of that one up on your screen right now. But I think it's fair to say that Cowan shouldn't have come across.
That was completely on Cowan in my opinion. He just turned into a car that wasn't inside, as if he wasn't there. So not paying attention is not a very good thing when you're racing side by side, where someone, as you can see here, going into the right-hander, he's just going to cut right across him.
Yep, he will just cut right across. There's actually a huge incident coming out of turn number 9 here. That was, if I can get the car number, that was the 252 of Nicholas Vaughan Roberts. That was absolutely huge. He lost it all on his own initially. This is the replay on screen. Second apex of the chicane there, and that is heavy into the wall. And he collects a couple of cars behind as well.
He almost T-boned the car coming behind him as well, so that could have been even worse. But day over for Nicholas Vaughan Roberts, and
yeah, Ryan Hewitt as well, ending up on his roof there when all things are said and done. So not the greatest of days for those drivers involved in that instance, but hopefully they can bounce back for the final round of the season, as this sort of pack of 6 at the front is starting to show a little bit. Well, the holes are starting to show in it. So Mick Watson, Clark Williams are starting to drop off the back. Jack Hobbs kind of in no man's land right now, just on the tail end of the draft of the 3 ahead. Hopefully he can pull himself back up towards the front to be in contention for those podium decisions by the end of this race. But that is just the status quo right now. Looking back through the field to see if there's any battling going on. There's Jeff Killick, actually, the 04 machine, heading side by side briefly with Darrell Taylor of the number 22 car. This is for positions just inside of your top 20 here. There's also John McGovern as well ahead there of this trio. So we can perhaps see what happens here. Not really close enough to be able to make any sorts of moves, unless you're very, very brave, of course. But Taylor will just stay behind for now. As looking back, there's just outside your top 20, in fact, there's Barry West, that usually joins us for interviews after the race. We don't usually give a lot of airtime to him, but there he is, currently sitting behind Christopher Keeble, in fact, and he is, at least on that lap, he was a little bit slower, but obviously on this lap, you can actually see that he has caught right up to the back of the 76 car. He will actually go for the overtake here on the run down towards the turn 8 and 9 chicane. Takes the inside line, which is the favourite line for the first part of the chicane, but he has to complete it by the second apex, and that is a pretty textbook move there for West.
Yeah, nice and easy move. He got the run off the corner, pulled up alongside, and by the turn into the corner, he was pretty much clear. So,
ooh, contact! Nice contact for P number 2. Mark Mercer and Bell Fraser, your 2 championship contenders, and there's carnage behind as well. Mick Watson and Clark Williams get themselves involved as they're stranded in middle track. Tom Ward gets a bit of it as well, as that is a massive, massive incident there coming into the final chicane. And I think Simon Edwards is pretty much all in his own at the front. Here's the replay on screen, Linus.
That was just side by side going into the chicane, not giving room to each other, making some contact. One car bouncing the curb, pushing both of them into the wall, and then people coming behind not being able to slow down. Yeah, and just unfortunate for Tom Ward, as you can see, he just drives straight into the side of Mercer as he's parked on the track. But yeah, I think Tom Ward is going to be fine from that, maybe not.
Yeah, I think there was a lost position there for Fraser. You don't go too wide in towards the first chicane. As you can see, the racing room was given by both drivers. It's just that Mercer had skipped over the second curb. That basically launched his car into the side of Bill Fraser. Fraser has no choice but to go into the wall of champions. Maybe that's a sign of things to come, shall we say, at least to the final round of the season. But yeah, it was absolute minefield for the rest of the drivers behind to try and get through on them.
Yeah, it's nowhere to go, and the car flipping on track, you never know where that's going to end up going. So, unfortunate day for everyone involved, especially the 2 championship leaders. And Simon Edwards is really happy with that, because he's now got a 3-second lead, and Jack Hobbs in second. He's got a 5-second gap down to 3rd place. Who's Mick Watson? Actually, no, he's out of the race. It's Stuart Adcock, sorry. Yeah,
and it's going to be 5 laps to go next time by for Simon Edwards, and well, he's got absolutely no one behind him. 3.1 seconds is the gap down to Jack Hobbs, who's had a good run of things as well. Mick Watson, P number 3. So the closest battle that's somewhere inside your top 10 is going to be this one between Tom Ward and James McRitchie, the 09 versus the 187 for P number 5. And you've also got to remember Stuart Adcock not too far ahead either, so he could be brought back into things if Ward and McRitchie decide to work together a little bit with the slingshot moves with the draft. So we could still have a race on here for major points.
Yeah, it's the last podium position that we're looking at right here, and Adcock is not able to pull away from Ward, so this might be a 3-way battle for the last position on the podium.
Yeah, exactly, may be the case. There is behind, there's Dave Kirkman, Matt Cox trying to decide who's going to finish P7 at the end of this event, and well, Matt Cox currently half a second a lap slower than Kirkman, at least that last time by, but of course we have the draft to factor into that one as well. So maybe the lap times aren't too representative of people's pace, at least in terms of race pace, because this qualifying session was a solo qualifying, so no draft shenanigans in qualifying to get yourself up the field. It's all based on your solo effort, but in the race here it is a little bit different, as we see there's a pack of cars kind of developing between what is going to be Barry West, Christopher Keeble, Fahima Denidas, who had a couple of issues this race. There's Mark Young and Chris Morris, as well as actually there been an incident involving Adcock. I think there has.
He got a slowdown, so he's had to pull over and let Ward into third place.
Yeah, he has, and he just carried way too much speed. That's just the cut and dry of it. Just went into the apex. Car didn't want to grip up, had to take to the grass instead of trying to make the corner, and as a result, he's let Tom Ward and James McRitchie by, and Tom Ward currently now P number 3, but McRitchie, may have something to say about that. As parked in the middle of the road is Tom Ward, just decides to give McRitchie the option of going either left or right, and he goes right in the end, and will take the podium position coming down in towards the final chicane. And now it's going to be Ward versus McRitchie for the final podium positions. And well, McRitchie, we haven't really seen him that often this far up. How well does he deal with what is going to be a 5-time champion right behind him?
Yeah, Tom Ward has really got the experience in this battle right here, and James McRitchie is hopefully going to cope with the pressure and be able to do well from starting 13th on the grid. But Tom Ward as well, we have to remember he's got slight damage from that incident in the chicane earlier on when he made contact with the race leader, so could be an even battle this, as long as Richard manages to cope with the pressure and doesn't make any mistakes.
Yeah, Ward definitely has a slightly wounded car. It's the front left part of the front wing that is damaged, and well, we can't really see any suspension damage, so it might still be okay for Tom Ward, but let's just see what happens here on the run down towards the 10-8-9 chicane. Is he going to go for the move? He's just going to wait patiently right now. There's still a couple of laps in this event to go. It's going to be three the next time by. Skipping over the curb is McRitchie. Gives the run to Tom Ward, and Ward will actually not capitalize on the run that he had. He's just sitting back. He's just waiting for McRitchie to make his mistakes and then capitalize.
Yeah, I think he's going to either take him on the straight, or he's going to wait for the last lap and then just go by him with the draft on the straightaway, because if he's this close behind him on the last lap.
All right, we are back. Sorry for the inconvenience caused there, but we are on the final lap of the Monday Night Skippies here at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. And, well, there was a bit of an incident between Tom Ward and James McRitchie for P number 3 that resulted in Stuart Adcock getting himself back into the thick of things here. In terms of the race at the front, it is still Simon Edwards leading the way with no one around him, so he's the likely race winner at this stage. But here we go. Battle for P number 3 is where it's at. Ward, McRitchie, Ward, and Adcock in that order right now, but Ward is going to go for the pass potentially up in towards the turn 8, turn number 9 chicane. He has the inside line, but what does Adcock do? Does he make it 3 wide? There's no really space to make it 3 wide. So close on the brakes there between Ward and McRitchie. McRitchie will lose out though. Here comes Adcock, briefly 3 wide off the corner, and now Ward just basically has to run for the hills. Hope Adcock and McRitchie slow each other down, coming in towards the turn number 10 hairpin now. Battle of the lake breakers down into here, and Adcock is going to be a little bit later, but McRitchie holds the inside line, and now it's basically a drag race down this back straight, and it's going to be Tom Ward giving the draft benefit to what is going to be Stuart Adcock now, and he just parks his car in the middle between both of them, so he's giving both of them equal amounts of the draft here.
It's going to be 3 wide into the chicane here.
Yeah, McRitchie, he's going to go for it. He's going to be boxed in by Ward and Adcock as the leader is coming to the start-finish line. 3 wide, we'll stay with this. 3 wide down in towards the final chicane now. McRitchie, Ward, and also Adcock as well. McRitchie, that is a sensational pass there. Wow. Down the inside. He will take P number 3. And our final step on the podium. That was a brilliant move. One of the best moves that I've seen in this season. 3 wide down into the final chicane at Montreal, of all places. Simon Edwards will take the race win, though. He does his donuts on the grass on the exit of turn number 2, but wow, Linus.
That was amazing by McRitchie to be able to pull it up the inside, not hit the grass, and be able to brake late but not outbrake himself, get through the chicane and have both of them next to him. That's just outstanding. Wow.
Yeah. Just pure brilliance there, and absolute utmost respect to the other 2 drivers as well. Ward and Adcock did leave the space there as well. They didn't just pile into the
wide for 17th place as well, but
yeah,
they seemed to figure it out before they got to the chicane, so nothing really happened there.
Yeah, they did figure it out, and well, they will head their way across the line, absolutely no problems, but sorry for the brief break, unscheduled break, shall we say, in the final quarter of the race there, but here are your final finishing results. Simon Edwards will come away with the race win, 7.3 seconds ahead of Jack Hobbs, and Hobbs was a similar margin ahead of James McRitchie at the end, and that pass was quite something, coming down into the final chicane 3 wide with Ward and Adcock, and they will finish in that order behind McRitchie as well. Then further down, you got to look at Jonathan Sheen, and Dave Kirkman getting very, very good results indeed. They finished 18th. Well, they started 18th and 16th respectively on the grid. They get 6th and 7th. Then you've got Ben Daniels, Matt Cox, and Simon Maltby also getting a top 10 after starting P24 on the grid. That's a net gain of 14 positions. Then you've got Anthony Jones, Daryl Taylor, John McGovern, Seymour Harding, Fahim Adonai. It's kind of a mixed race for him as he finishes P number 15. Anthony Catt had issues early on which dropped him to the back, or well, towards the mid-pack, shall we say, in P number 16. And Mark Young, P number 18. Peter Cowan, 19th. And Nick Sigley will round out your top 20. And then through the rest of the field we'll go. Chris Morris, P number 21. Tim Adcock, David Hardwick, Bill Fraser. After that incident, that big incident coming down to the final chicane in the middle of this event, your championship leader finishes P number 24, just ahead of Paul Thurston, P number 25. Keeble, Hewitt, Vaughan Roberts, Mark Mercer as well. Your championship challenger having an even worse day than your championship leader finishes P number 29. Carl Townsend, Jeff Killick, James Chide, Mick Watson, Robert Plumley, Clark Williams, Lorne Murray, Alan Patterson, Adrian Bidwell, and Chris Malcolm are all varying amounts of laps down, all the way down to P number 39. So after what was an incredibly enthralling finish there, we were thankful to bring the last lap away for you. Maybe we should get a 4th ISP for Hugo's Internet. Maybe that will do the trick. But join us after the break for the post-race show and interviews. Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to the post-race show for this penultimate round of the Monday Night Skippys from Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. We have a couple of people to interview this time, and why not? Let's at first bring in the likes of perhaps Barry West first, as we will drag him into the booth right now. And well, Baz, not too bad a result as you see he rummaging around perhaps with your headphones there. As the P number 17 after starting 33rd, that is a great result.
Sorry, you're talking to me. I'm just a bit disorientated. Sorry, Chaz. That was the first race in the Rift, and I just want to sort the audio out. Yeah, it was a great race. I really enjoyed that. First race in the Skippy in the Rift. Yeah, that was amazing. I mean, a bit off the pace, but defending against Fahim was fun. Kept him back a while.
Yeah, you guys did have a very, very good battle. That's you did get a little bit of airtime for it as well, so just maybe you should have smelled for the cameras. But yeah, in terms of the Rift now, because you've many sim races start getting into this virtual reality with the HTC Vive. You've got the Oculus Rift as well. You've got a couple of other minor ones as well. How immersive is it for the first time?
It is amazing, actually. I put it off for a year, and hang on, can I just close this down?
Sure. Let's just do that. As I personally haven't had I haven't tried any virtual reality yet. I am a virtual reality virgin, so to speak. So maybe I should go and try it someday.
Yeah, I'm back with you. Sorry, yeah, I put it off for a year because I was worried about motion sickness and having to wear glasses. I wear glasses normally for distance and reading as well. But I'm cope fine without glasses, and I've had an inch of motion sickness. I mean, I would urge people to just try one from somebody first. But yeah, there's a well-known shipping company that you can actually send it back if it doesn't work. So yeah, I would urge people to try it because it is amazing. And it's only going to get better. But it's learning to drive again, because you're actually driving with the same attributes as you do in your normal car, whereas in 2D you're just, I've got to turn in here because there's the apex sort of thing, whereas you just turn in naturally with the Rift because you can see the apex, you can hit every apex, like, you know, it is a wonderful thing. And it's going to be the future, I'm sure.
Yeah, Linus, have you tried virtual reality yet? If Linus is actually here.
No, I have not.
You have not, so we both haven't tried it yet. So I should really try it because it sounds like a lot of fun, and a little bit concerning as well when your brain thinks you're going 100 miles an hour into a wall, I bet.
Yeah, I keep trying to see the time on my own watch as well, which is obviously you can't. But yeah, it's I would advise you, when I bought 3 monitors, the guy had a Rift, and he said, don't go and try one unless you're going to buy one, because as soon as you tried it, you'll want one. And I tried it last Monday, and I went and bought one. Came home after seeing one and bought it the same night. So yeah, my advice is, if you're thinking about getting one, yeah, definitely try one. But if you're not thinking about getting one, don't try one, because you'll buy one.
Yeah, and you know, my student finance payments only go so far, shall we say? But thank you for joining us, Barry. Is there anything else you want to say?
No, I just look forward to next week. Now I'm gonna have to get some more practice in the Skippy.
All right, there we go. So that was Barry West finishing P number 17 in this event. And, well, the only other person that we've got waiting for an interview is the UK&I club captain himself, our weekly chat with Mr. Paul Thurston. If we can get him into the booth right now. There we go. Hello, Mr. Thurston. How are you doing?
Good evening. Very good, actually. So I've got pleased with that.
Pleased with P number 25?
Well, from where I went down, I mean, I was doing well. If you look where Matt finished, Matt Cox finished 9th. I mean, I was behind Matt, so I was comfortably behind Matt, holding position. So there's no reason to believe I wouldn't have ended up top 10 there. So that's my normal aim. But I got caught up in the last chicane on lap sort of lap two or three, something like that. It was no one's fault. It's just that there was somebody had a problem in front of Matt. He had to check twice, so I had to check twice, and Adrian hit me. It happens. It's motor racing. So there's no one to blame for that one. Then I was back in like 36th or 38th or something like that, but then coming back to 25th. So yeah, it's quite good fun actually. It was good fun at the end when I was coming up behind the little battle between Bill and Mark. They were having a bit of fun there, you know, because they've just been, you know, they're down in the points, and I was just sort of like catching them by inches when they made mistakes or when they were just holding each other up, and then they sort of had a little coming together, and so I got another couple of places there. I was just coming in behind Bill at the end there, and I did consider pointing out to him that he definitely owed me one for some point, but I thought no, not classy. I'd like to congratulate Bill actually, because I think that's the championship now. He's had an absolutely superb season. He's driven brilliantly all season. He's a class of the field. You've got to take your hat off to him. He's matured this season. It's going to be difficult to see past Bill for champion over the next couple of seasons, I think, if he keeps at it.
Yeah, that definitely seems to be the case. As well, currently, well, before this race, around about being number 12 in the points, and you know, you had a shot of getting inside that top 10 in points because that mid pack is, or at least bottom end of the top 10 pack is quite tight in terms of the point situation. But with this result, it's going to be interesting, shall we say, whether you can get into the top 10 in the final race or not. But we'll see how the drop weeks work out. And are you optimistic about that?
No. Simon and Matt finishing top 10 today, I think has put pay to that. There's just, I suppose, a small chance I might actually be able to get Bob Plumley, but I don't think so, because I've got, that's 4 drop weeks, 3 zeros and a 25 that I've dropped now, so I think that's gone. But you never give up. I mean, today, you know, he basically crashed right back in there. I'm down to 38th, miles behind the next person. You never give up. If you give up, then psychologically you realise, like Jackie Stewart said once, psychologically you realise that you can give up, and the next time you'll give up again, just when there might have been a chance to actually get some points or something. So it's a psychological thing. You should never, ever, ever get out of a car when it's got 4 wheels and an engine.
Yeah, exactly. Those are very wise words. As you know, the final race of the season is now coming up. Is yet another 12-week UK&I Monday Night Skippys season. And how would you rate your season so far?
Good first half. A bit of bad luck in the second half. But I was driving. I think I was driving better in the first 2/3 of the season, whereas the last few races I've been off the pace. I'm going to change my computer. I don't think that's had anything to do with it, but it coincides with it, so maybe it has. I'll have to check that out over the over week 13 to see if there's anything I can do. But I've been getting solid results and fighting closer to the sharp end. There's a few things I need to do to get quicker. Most of them are in my head, so it's all right. You know, it's been a good season. It's one of the better seasons I've had recently, even though I did better in the points last season. I think if someone had offered me at the beginning of the season, would I have taken it? No, I'd have wanted first, to be honest.
I think that's what every single racing driver wants, but you know, it is a very, very worthy goal. As before we let you go now, Paul, is there anything you want to say before we head to the final round?
Well, the final round should be a good one actually, because Phillip Island, isn't it? Phillip Island is a great track for the Skippy. It's quite tricky to overtake, but you get a lot of side by side. You're right up behind people. It's a bit like Monaco at the beach, but you've got to concentrate the whole time. It's very, very fast. I do like it because it's slidey. with a bit of luck, that could be a top 10 to fight to end it, and that'll be good. And then on the weekend of week 13, if people keep an eye out, we're going to run the Home International Championships, which will be, I think, Demolition Derby. You usually do it as. I'm wondering actually if there are any of the figure eight circuits, maybe a Demolition Derby at a figure of eights. Now that might be fun.
Yeah, Irwindale has a figure of eight, so that could possibly be an option. So a lot of fun things to look forward to if you're part of the UK&I club, as those week 13 events do go on. But yeah, Linus, if you're still here, of course.
Yeah.
That race, pretty exciting, but not for the top major positions, but for P number 3, that was, again, I have to say, that was just crazy.
Yeah, we got some interesting battling going on around there, and that last lap was just crazy how they managed to get through there. But good job on everyone's part, and a bit of a shame for that crash in the Wall of Champions amongst the leaders, but that kind of stuff happens. So on to the last round, and hopefully we get a good ending to the championship.
Of course, it was Bill Fraser going into the Wall of Champions, which is quite fitting considering his points margin. And we'll see how drop weeks work out just yet. The thing is, I don't want to call it just yet, just in case I am wrong, and I've been wrong on occasion. So Bill Fraser, provisional championship winner right now until we get things worked out. That's about all we have time for here for the Monday Night Skippies here on RaceSpotTV and iRacing Live. Join us next week for the finale at Phillip Island.